Hi again. I think this will be a part 2 of the video, so you're probably still watching the same thing, but I thought, you never know. So I've just shown you Derwent Inktense pencils, and now I'm going to show you a swatching session of pastel pencils from Derwent. Oops, coated. Okay, I'm going to use a different sketchbook. This one I'm using as my 100-day project, or rather, as I call it, 100 pages sketchbook. And oh no, I ran out of washi tape. So I'm going to fix this first, and then once I fixed it, I'm going to paint some just gouache paint on the page and then test out these pencils. So I think because, oh my god. So excuse the camera shake, it happens a lot more than you see, because I cut it out usually, but I thought it was funny. So here I'm just showing you like a quick speed paint of the pages. Hello again, I'm back after drying this with a hairdryer. Of course I made a mess. So back to what we're here for, pastel Derwent testing. That was not a sentence. Testing Derwent pastel pencils. Huh, I got there in the end. So we're going to draw. There's a nice range of colors. I'm just going to go from left to right, and then as I was painting this, I realized that I should have really considered the fact that I'm swatching them, so everything should be an even color. So I did that here with a lighter wash, and surprisingly a more watery wash dried a lot quicker, which is weird. I guess maybe that's how paints work. Just center this all for you. So starting with Process Yellow P030. I don't know what it's about them. Maybe there's some dirt or something on them. It looks great on the green. I'll test it here just for a better comparison. But this one covers quite well. Sorry. The sun just came out, which is amazing. It just feels so nice and summery. It's only spring. This orange also comes on really well. It's called Spectrum Orange P100. I have a feeling that comes on has a different meaning, like if you come on to someone, you're either flirting with them or trying to get into a fight. So I don't know if using it with regards to putting colors on paper makes sense, but it just is what comes to my mind when I'm talking about it. Cadmium Red P130. And so far, I'm really satisfied with this. It's super nice. I probably have some space for Inktense to go on these pages, so I might just do that as well. Then we have Violet P260. I was never convinced about pastels until I've seen people use it on top of gouache, and I was like mind blown. Did not expect that was how they were used or supposed to be used, or they work quite well. This purple is quite... It's not a very pleasant thing to put on the page because it's very squeaky. Not squeaky, but that annoying sound. But it looks nice. It's got slightly less coverage than the other colors. And we've got Cyan P340. And just in case I pronounce P in a different way than you would, it's P for Papa for all of them so far. I don't know why I'm doing an extra line for some of them, but not for others. ADHD for you. Nothing really makes sense in my brain. Or my brain doesn't make sense to regular people probably. And then we have Prussian blue P350. Prussian blue is a lovely color. And because I do lots of cyanotypes, which come out as Prussian blue, I've grown to love it. It's also a good watercolor or gouache paint to own because it mixes with like ochre, yellow ochre, or maybe primarily yellow to create greens. I need to really like do some maybe swatching videos where I try to mix colors because again, can't do two things at the same time. Because I think it will be good practice and also make hopefully useful to someone to see how colors mix together and what weird combinations come up of it from it. Weird, haha. Weird is the best. I'm sorry. Then we have pea green P430, and the sun is slowly going down, so hopefully you can still see it, especially as it's not the best. Not the best color to go on green. I'm just going to carry on with it because I don't really have time to look for, I do have to have time because it's unusable. Unsurprisingly. If it broke, it broke. Just in case it's going to break again. For the purpose of this video. Yeah, it's all... Oh wow. That's a shame. Okay. I'll try and be more delicate. I'm usually quite rough with my pencils. I have to try and test this one on something else. Wow. Wow, that's quite short already. Try it on this one. That was pea green, and this one's sepia P530. It doesn't look like sepia. It's green. Why is it called sepia? Am I missing something? Is sepia green? I mean, let me know because I'm confused. If you know, then please tell me. It's a beautiful color, and that's my kind of color for sure. This one's yellow ochre, B580. I kind of like yellow ochre and Indian yellow. I don't ever use this yellow, even though there's probably many situations in which it would work for me. So I don't really know why I avoid it. Really nice color. I can imagine this going well with gouache, like with on an actual painting. It's good coverage as well. Carbon black P710. That's your regular black. As compared to Inktense, this black doesn't come on really nicely. It's alright, but you have to work it a bit to make sure it comes onto the page well enough. But it's good enough, like if you want something really, really dark, it would work out great. Obviously. Sometimes I don't think what I say. I think because I use so much water and then heated it up, it's coming off. So I might have imperfect rectangles. That's what I get for starting really late in the day. Should be cooking now. This white is perfect. I haven't found a white that would come on top of gouache so well. I have some nice white color pencils which are great for other things, but on gouache I don't think I've found a good enough one, and this one's perfect. You can see here. And I was going to show you, it's called Titanium White P720. I probably already said it, but brain holes. And I was going to try this pea green P430. Come on, brain, not much left. No, it won't work on this color. I mean, you can still see it, but it's not the best. You can see lots of my I picked another green. That's really... I think this one might be good. It's another, like, just I was trying to save up gouache, so like in the past I would not leave anything on the palette and I would use it all up and I would just paint pages and pages, but actually this, when it stays okay. And you can probably see it in the video of me painting those pages, that it adds a nice earthy tone, like by mixing with pink, for example. So I just learned something new from it as well, and just gives you an unexpected look, which I kind of like. Okay, this green is quite good. Hopefully it's not fully broken, because this is the exact green that I think I wanted for a while. And I just wanted to, because I don't really have many other pastel pencils, I just wanted to try the ones, swatch the ones I do have that are of different brands, because there's no point doing a separate video for like 5 pencils. So I'm just going to pick them out. Let's say that thing. Oh yeah, that one. And you can use, you don't really need pastel pencils to draw. Come on, brain. You don't really need pastel pencils to draw on top of gouache, because like Caran d'Ache, for example, or the other like brands of regular color pencils will still cover the gouache quite well, and sometimes they're even better. So maybe I should do a comparison one sometime. So I have 2 brands here, and I swear I have Count de Paris somewhere else as well. Like there should be one more color, or maybe a couple more, but I've lost it. I know where they are, but it doesn't really matter. Like, let's swatch what we have. And the sun is out as well, which is really lovely. These are quite pricey and they're quite rare. It's Count de Paris, and I don't care. Like, I can't pronounce it, so I'm just doing my best with this one. It's a white one, 630. I don't know if it's meant for this kind of drawing. Probably not. Then we have another one, Sepia. And that one just works so perfectly on this paper, on this gouache. Then we have Carboffello, which are really cheap, affordable ones. And I'm more and more convinced that I love them, because they're just so affordable. So you can keep getting more and more colors without breaking the bank. I don't know, are these colors 4 to 5? They do come with names, but I don't have them to hand. This one's 3 to 5. I'm sure you can find them by the numbers as well. 3 to 5, red. Quite nice. Then we have 4 to 5. Blue one. It's quite bright colors. I don't really know why I got them. Sometimes a shiny thing and I just want it. And you can say they're not that different to the more expensive version. This one's lovely. Even though I don't find much use for colors like this, like super bright. This one's 545. It's kind of like teal, not teal. You probably know better than I do. Yeah, I just love how it looks. 585, 585, kind of dark green. I think this one's called Michael's green, potentially. This one's the best to draw with. We've recently been away, so I packed a few things for painting outside and in our little cottage room. So these are all pastels, and I want to show you a comparison to know what would be good. Like this Posca one, and then those two. I think they're similar enough to give you a good comparison, and I think they come onto the page in a similar way as well, so that would be a good comparison. I can put them next to the Contemporaries pastel. So these are also the same brand. Two more greens. Love that. This one's obviously too light, but it does look like it's covering quite well. And I have two more Carbofelo. Ah! One of them kept breaking, so I just probably made it worse. 692. I don't want to prolong this video too much, because it's probably boring you to death. 105. These two I'll definitely be using a lot more, even though I've already used them a fair bit. Then let's compare all the red ones. So, pastel. Then I should really do the red one from this brand, just to have it in a comparison. Apologies for the lack of light. Like, I'm literally in painting, drawing in the shadow. That should be better. Hopefully, because the sun is really direct in my face, so hopefully this looks natural, well lit. Let's go for Holbein. This one's strawberry. It's very weird to draw with, but I guess it covers the gouache. It probably wouldn't cover a darker one, so let's try it in a second. Then we have Carandash, Alizarin Crimson. Quite a popular color, I think. This one feels better, but in general I prefer these for some reason. So yeah, good coverage as well. And then Uniposca red. I think it's just red, color red. This one is much better, but also a bit strange. And this paper, gouache paper. I will be sharing a video of all of these pages once I finish the 100-day project. I'll do a sketchbook flip through, or maybe I'll do it at the end of the sketchbook. So that'd be like, it would make more sense to do it at the end, very end. I've lost that page with a bigger. Oh, never mind. Let's just draw them here. Remove the shadow. Okay, pastel. And pastel, Derwent. Both very good performance on a darker gouache. Then Holbein, strawberry. Not good at all, but I can kind of see where it could become useful. If you don't want to add a lot of pigment, like color and dust, then that might be better. Then we have Carandash, and even though this color, I don't know if it's that shiny, but on paper it comes up a bit shiny. Then we have Posca, which covers well, but it's shiny. So overall, pastels win. But I've used Carandash on something recently and it was better. So there might be some colors, especially with Carandash, they'll differ by pigment, by the color. And some will come much more smoothly and others won't be as smooth. And I promise that I'll do a couple of Derwent. The whole video is Derwent, but a couple of ink tints. I have a few more of these, but they're not a part of this pack. Let's see if the red one, Poppy Red, comes up. I've already done it, didn't I? Let's do yellow. It's quite light color. Not the best, but can still see it. You can hopefully still see it too. I'll water it down in a second, because I think that might be quite an interesting thing. Obviously darker ones are good. I think the lesson from this swatching video is experiment and see what works and see what doesn't work. Don't listen to people who tell you that you shouldn't be using something in a certain way, because at the end of the day, if you're doing it for fun, does it matter if it's the right way? The right way? It doesn't. It's up to you what you want to do. Okay, let's try this yellow. Kind of lifting the gouache below. But it adds a lot of pigment, so it could be used maybe in some like small spots, which I'm really tempted to try now, because I think that might be quite interesting. So more like a pattern look. It will be really hard to do with this brush that I have. Let's try. This will be probably a bit more visible for you. Let's see what it looks like. I'm really hoping that it will just add a pop of tiny bits of color. Are you even in shot? Of course, I forgot. I think it lives up to my expectations. I'll show you a closer look in a second. Oh my god, this video is turning out to be really long, isn't it? It's gonna do. Just to compare it side by side. Something weird happened. Okay, and then let's try one last swatch of color. Could be fun, but I'm not sure if it's going to work well with gouache, because you have to add the water and then move it quite a bit, so you lift the gouache from behind, which maybe sometimes would work in your favor if that's what you're aiming for. So here are my swatches, and I have a feeling that it's really dark, but I can't tell if it's because the sun is in my face or not. So there you are. I'm going to record a short of unpeeling the tape, because I think it works a bit better. Here it is. If you'd like to see it in the short form, then the link should appear on your screen now. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like what you see, if you want to see more of this, or sketchbook flip-throughs, some process videos, digital and traditional art, then make sure you subscribe. You can also like this video, and you can see all my links in the description of this channel. Have a nice evening or day, whatever time you watch it. Bye!